So hello guys and good afternoon. So this is a trade recap of the trade breakdown of the trade that I took yesterday on Nasdaq with the VIP team or my mentorship students. So let's just start it from the daily chart and you can understand how I got to that trade, that specific trade, and how specifically got to it. So first of all, let me save a template of BOS because I've been meaning to do that, but I haven't. So let's just do it today. Nimekuwa postpone daily. Yeah, so we have US 100 on that side, Nasdaq, and then we have SP 500 on this window over here. So we'll also do the same thing here. We'll delete everything, start from scratch so that you guys can see what I was seeing yesterday. And I shared this trade as a signal to my group. We also delete that. Okay, so coming into yesterday, of course, yesterday was Tuesday, 26th May 2026. So this had not printed, this had not printed. So I want you to look at this chart and just assume that those two have not printed yet. So we are just looking at this one going backwards. So looking at last week, we had this bullish uh, trajectory to the upside, and we were able to sweep this high. This was an all-time high. This was able to be swept on Monday. Okay, so what we had there was a break of structure on a daily time frame, because whenever price breaks and closes above a previous high or a previous low, that becomes a break of structure. So that became my BOS. And then I also noticed that this was Friday's closing and then this was Monday's opening. So what you can notice is that we have a very huge gap here. So I love seeing these gaps because I can either use them to trade as targets or as some form of support. Okay, so we just label that as our new week opening gap because it's the Monday opening gap. Okay, so that's an end work. So going down to the 4-hour chart, I expected price to come back to that level and then trade out of that, because you can see we already have this break of structure. So we had very many things that were going to be rebalanced at this level. We had this new week opening gap, we had this 4-hour order block, and also this was around the midpoint of that particular range. So if you measure from, let's go to the 1 hour and see what I'm talking about. So if you measure this, this is hanging. Come on. So this is a intermediate low and a high. So if you measure this from this high, from this low, come on, use the gun box. Come on. If you measure from that low to that high, you will notice that that was the equilibrium of that range. Okay, so you expect price to move from premium to equilibrium to premium to equilibrium to discount and in equilibrium, it should be the bouncing point of price action if price is still going to continue to move in that same direction. Okay, so enough being said, this was the 4-hour analysis. So this was the analysis that I sent to the free group, and I think I also posted it on my Twitter. So you can see that price has broken structure here on a 4-hour and on a daily, of course. So we have an order block, we have the equilibrium, and so forth and so forth. So as I came into the market, I just wanted to see price reach into these areas, and then I would observe the reaction of that on a 1-hour chart. So let's go to the 1-hour chart. So on the 1-hour chart, I also wanted to get the same reaction. Let's see. No, on the 1-hour chart, I wanted to see the kind of reaction we get when we start approaching these areas. So you can see this was Monday. So this is Asian session on Tuesday, but it reads as Monday on the chart. So that becomes an intermediate low, which was swept here on Tuesday during the London kill zone. Check the time. At the bottom of my screen, you will see the time. It comes about around here. So when I hover around that candle, you can see that it's at 3 a.m. So what does 3 a.m. mean? 3 a.m. means that we are inside the London kill zone. Okay, and on an ideal bullish day, you want to see the low of the day being formed during the London kill zone. Okay, so that being said, we had that which swept this liquidity. It dipped into the premium side of the new week opening gap, and also if you measure again, we have now dipped into the equilibrium 0.5 level. Okay, so yeah, so those are almost three things, and additionally we have swept a previous session low right here, so that becomes a liquidity sweep. So we have three uh more than three confluences aligning. So to start with, we are at a key level, the new week opening gap, number one, and also the level where the break of structure happened. So this is some form of break and retest. Okay, so another thing apart from that, that is number one, key level. Number two, previous session liquidity sweep, so that is a liquidity sweep. Number three, we have returned to equilibrium, very important. um, we have another confluence, not yet. So now, as soon as that happens, I now want to see what kind of confirmation can we get from that level. The confirmation that I like to use is a change in state of delivery. So the change in state of delivery occurs still within that session, the London kill zone, because the London kill runs from 2 a.m. right here up to 5 a.m. So you can see that is what the London kill zone played that role of forming the daily low uh, in yesterday's price action. So we dipped, swept previous session liquidity low, dipped into a key level, and then at 5 a.m. we were able to form this change in state of delivery. So that is where you mark your 1 hour change in state of delivery. And where is it? Yeah, right there, right there you have it. So there are two ways to enter. You can enter immediately as for the 6 a.m. 4 hour candle is opening, which is what I did. This is what we did with my VIP members. We entered right here at 29,772. So we did that. So that's a long position. Or you can just wait for the 9:30, which also gave us the what the retest, because you can see at 9 we got this retest which occurred at around 9:30. We got several retests. This is the 7 a.m. open, for example. We got the first retest at 9:30. Again, we got the same retest on the same area, and you can see that no candle bodies were closing below it. We were just wicking into that level and leaving. So even if you miss this entry, I gave another re-entry. I gave this re-entry and I gave this re-entry in my group. Okay, so my targets, let's talk about targets. Of course, I'm targeting the all-time high. And what do I have at the all-time high? These are relative equal highs. Can it get any better? Can it get any better than this? Can it get any better than this? No, it can't. So this was the relative equal highs. Where's the label for that? Where's the label? Where's the label? Come on. Relative equal highs stroke all-time high. Of course, we were going to purge that, because when I'm at all-time highs, I do not like to short. So that was also something that was supporting, running in my at the back of my head as I was going into this trade. So we just riding with the trend. We are currently at all-time highs, so I'm trying to look for longing opportunities, just catching the continuation of that move. So yeah, that's how we took it. My first stop loss was here. So my first entry was here. My first stop loss was just below the London session low. Uh, and then as price formed this 7 a.m., because this is another kill zone, which I can show you on the 15-minute, we were able to form this low, which became now a stronger low, and I did not expect it to be taken out. And if it did, the setup would have been somewhat invalidated. Okay, so what I did at 7 a.m, remember what we have. I have taught this before in one of the videos. I mentioned that at 7 a.m. we have the New York kill zone open. So when we formed that low, I was sure that that low was not going to be invalidated if we wanted to reach these all-time highs. So that is what I did. I adjusted my stops here and I added a position right there, right then, especially when we were able to break this high. So let me delete. So you can see the RR changes, it becomes a 3.6 RR trade. And as soon as we broke this high right here, you can see that this was an intermediate high, this one, the 6 a.m. high. So at 7, we did that retest, the New York kill zone open, and then we were able to go to the upside, all right? So as soon as this happened, we are breaking this high with a candle closure on a 1 hour time frame, okay? As soon as that happened, I added another position, maintained my stop at just below this one. This was 29,741. Yes. So I maintained my stop right there at that level, and I added a position here. So I think I'll post a screenshot here so that you guys can see. Yeah. So that is basically how I traded it, and then took off most of my profits here because I had made uh, almost 50% gain in that trade. So that is the trade breakdown shared on my group. Yes, so to join, link is on bio, my number is on my bio, everything is on my bio. Just reach out, and yeah, have a great week ahead. Let's continue trading. Adios. Yes, sir.